What is going on, guys? It's been an extremely long time since we've last since I last made a video. Kind of, I've been reading the comments and seeing, in the older videos, specifically the KLM videos, and just reading through, and they'll be like, "Where are you doing now? Where are you going?" etc. As you can tell by the topic of this video, I am no longer a truck driver. I still have my CDL; it's still in my back pocket, for future if I ever do decide to go back. But this is kind of giving my reasoning as to why I chose and made the decision to stop driving trucks. Before I even get into the reasons I've listed, this is just my own perspective. This is not me saying that you shouldn't go into trucking or that you should go into trucking. This is just my own perspective based on my life. Everybody's life is different. Everybody has their own path. This is not saying like throwing shade or anything, or for people can come and say, "Oh, you don't want to work out." This is just my perspective. Everybody has their own right to do what they want to do. Everybody has free will, essentially. Okay, so for starters, which I'm pretty sure from my own friends that also stopped, the biggest thing for me is the market. The market now is like it's almost at a standstill, or it's just the freight is not paid. Like what I was doing, I didn't make videos about it, but the last freight I was hauling was there's two different types of freights. I was doing containers, shipping containers out of Houston from, I had to get my TWIC card, but off the big ships. I was doing ship containers out of Houston, and I was also doing asphalt rock, gravel rock, all of that, doing end dump essentially. So when I first started with the containers, it was really good. I was getting steady, steady work Monday through Friday. I was making a lot of money doing that. And I don't know, like I don't get into politics or whatever it was, but out of nowhere, that freight kind of got to a standstill. Like it was at one point I literally went 6 days without a single load. That's not like 6 days Monday through Saturday. That's Monday through Friday with a Monday. So over into the next work week, I didn't have any lows. And then the rocks was cool, but then that started slowing down. And I just started noticing that, like I'm looking around and asking friends and buddies that have, these routes, and, everything is just slowing down, and, less loads is less money. I wasn't paid by the day. I was paid by the container. I was paid by the amount I hauled with the rocks, things like that. And obviously, with that makes it harder to make my check. Along with that, there were a lot of companies closing as well. Yellow Freight, big company right there. I'm pretty sure any trucker's heard about Yellow Freight closing down. A company that my uncle drove for, not my uncle, my cousin, company that my cousin drove for. His company, I don't know the name of it, but his company shut down. The company that I actually have a video a little bit back that I was a partner with, that I helped start. That company, they're not shut down, but they did switch over to where they let not a big company didn't buy them out, but a big company, the company I was with, a big company didn't buy them out, but essentially they took over. Like my job basically was part of the reason why I'm not with them anymore. My job with them was kind of like things were so tight that there was no room to afford what I did for them. So obviously they threw it to a bigger company that could do it for cheaper. So that, and then with me seeing all these things, being a mixture of a driver and kind of on the operation side as well, that also made me lose faith in being full on an operator one day. You know what I'm saying? So seeing all of that, it just kind of like that was like, because the reason I did get my CDL to be able to be my own boss, but seeing the way the market is and having friends that are losing their companies, and I want something stable. And for me, I don't see the market as being stable anymore. So that's one of the reasons I started retreating. Another big thing for me was the work-life balance was not what I expected. I'm still in my 20s. I still have a lot of energy. Yeah, I can work long hours, etc. But I like to think long term. So even though the money was great when it was great, I have to think and ask myself, well, how would it be, when I'm in my 30s or my 40s or my 50s, because basically, I will look at you with truck driving. People think it's a 9 to 5. While there are some that are very rare to find. 9 times out of 10, you're looking at 10 to 14 hour days. Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday, and you're looking at. For me, it was days where basically I get off work, And then I only have time to take a shower and go to sleep, eat, shower, sleep, and still not get my 8 hours of sleep. You thinking, oh, you got a 12-hour day, you got 12 hours to do with it. No, you got that commute from home. Then you gotta, eat, shower. You gotta get back up in the morning, shower if you a morning shower person. You gotta eat again. Then you gotta head to work. And it's just like that commute is like that's all people. That's time people don't equate into their work. And then you're like, okay, I wouldn't mind doing it first, but over time you do get kind of burnt out. You do get kind of tired, especially for those with family and kids. You don't really get to see them how you want to see them. You really get to just see them say, like they might be asleep by the time you get there, and you wake up early in the morning, and they're asleep when you get up. That's just the sad reality of it. And for me, like I don't have a wife and kids, but I obviously would want to have a wife and kids. And I'm thinking like with my dating life, with being a truck driver, it just wasn't as successful. I had people that understand, but for the relationships that did kind of make it, it was definitely difficult. There's a lot of moments where it's just like, dang, I wish I could do this, that, the other. Because even when I was spending time with them on weekends, I was more so just tired. I was worn out from the work week that I really didn't have the energy I wanted to. And they're thinking that, oh, he's not interested. I'm completely interested. I'm just really worn out. And that may be just me thing. Some people can do it, etc. But it's just like for me, to me, that's not the life I envisioned myself having. And then I'm a big advocate of working out. So that balance for me, because I had to switch my schedule around. And even though I'm on a routine now where I'll do only work 3 days a week, work out 3 days a week, it's still the fact of like those days where I needed to work out is after like a long work shift or whatever, you just don't have that energy that you're so used to having. And it's just the fact of like you feel like you're almost killing yourself. Like you're working on 6-7 hours of sleep. You have a full work day. Now you're at the gym and you're taking pre-workout, and the pre-workout's not giving you energy. It's just making your heart rate increase, but it's not giving you energy. And just all these things. And like I said, for me, that's not the that's not the life I envisioned for myself. That's just not what I intended. So that's just kind of like another reason that they kind of pushed me away. Along with that, and this is my personal opinion, but in 2023, we know that everything is insanely expensive right now. Like, way unnecessarily. Like, I don't know what's coming. Like, I don't like the way markets moving, groceries are costing, and the companies are laying off people. I don't know what's happening, but I'm not a fan of it. And for everything to be expensive as it is, though, how much truckers got paid barely increased. The company I was with, KLM, I think it was 45 cents a mile I started at, but I think they're at like 55 now for a starter, but that's only a 10-cent increase. But if you look at like how much everything costs, you're like, okay, there's way more than that. Like way more than that. Like everything's mad expensive. And don't get me wrong, like if you can make it on there, that's cool. And I understand like everybody's set amount they want to make. Like some people okay with only 1,000 a week. Some people okay with only 800 a week. For me, realistically, if I'm for the amount of work, like people, especially this is specifically with OTR, people think that okay, I'm in my truck, I'm sleeping. You're responsible for those loads the whole time you have them. That whole time you're in that truck, people think, oh, I just drove my little 10 hours. That's it. Okay, but you're also not at your house. You're not in your own shower. You're not eating quality food. You saw me rant about it before. You're not eating quality food. You're not doing a lot of quality things. But yet, because of this, you think, oh, it's just the 10 hours. No, that's that whole day. So say if you made, let's say $1,200 that week, right? Let's do a good check. Let's say you make $1,500 that week, and I shouldn't need a calculator for this. I'm back in school anyway. So that's 250, 260. Okay, let me get the calculator because I don't want to lie to y'all. 1,500 divided by 7. So you're looking at 214 a day, right? So you're thinking, oh, that's 214. I only work 10 hours, right? And you're thinking, okay, that's like $21 an hour, which is still kind of low. Nah, do 214 divided by that whole 24 hours. You're looking at $10 an hour. $10 an hour. And you're like, for a whole day. And you're like, well, no, you're not in your own home. You're not whatever. And then that's part of the reason I didn't like OTR, because there was an added stress factor that of being in different areas, different states, and specific loads that have deadlines. And say I'm at a load that I'm literally cutting it close, I'm not having a quality sleep. I'm too busy stressing out about if I'm not gonna make it to shipping time, because you're the company that if you're late to the load, they cut part of your pay. So you're like, I don't want to lose part of my pay. I'm already out working this whole week. I want every mile to count, but they're gonna charge you for that if you're late. And I'm like, I'm stressed, and then I'm like, this shower is nasty. This shower is not good. I want quality food. I want a home cooked meal. You can't get none of that. Absolutely none of that. So you think, what about with local? Okay. So local is not as, that's why I preferred local, because it was like, all right, when I go home, I get to go home. But then it was the fact of like I said, it was 10 to 14 hour days. There were some days where especially with the containers, where I would make about $300 to $400 and only have half a day. That's just because, but then I didn't realize the reason why I was able to get in and out was because other companies were starting to lose their loads. And eventually it caught up to the company I was with, to where I was also not there. I was only able to get in and out that fast because literally there wasn't the line of trucks getting those containers. But then the snake bit me too, you know what I'm saying? So it's just the fact of like, those 10, 11, 12, and the days that made me mad the most when I was paid by the load was I could spend, it was one day I literally got there at like 5 a.m. and I didn't get back to the yard till like 6 p.m. It only did 2 loads. Not 4, not 5, not 6, only 2. You know, and I was paid, I think it was $80 per container. So I basically spent, that was 13 hours for, what I said was 8, that's 160. So you do the math on that, that's $13 an hour. And it wasn't 2 loads of me just sitting and waiting. No, it was 2 loads of me stressing, dealing with this, dealing with that, fighting through the traffic and standing out in the sun and hooking. Like, it wasn't like I'm just sitting there waiting. I was like, no, it's like lines and going through that and going through this and checkpoints. And because if you worked at a shipping yard, you know, a shipping container yard, you know how like hectic it gets. And you're doing all that. And just me, like I said, I'm big on knowing my worth and knowing if this is really worth it. And like I said, if that's what you do, kudos to you. But me, I'm big on analyzing every single dime, every single hour, every single everything, because I don't believe, like, I understand grind, but I also believe in grind with an actual like numeric system. Like, no matter, I don't know the word for it. Don't let me say the wrong word. But I believe in making sure that every hour I'm doing stuff. I was really big on every check I get, when did I get to the yard and when did I leave the yard. Making sure that I'm not in a job where I'm literally working myself to death for next to nothing. And basically after all of this and going through this for all this time, which is why I didn't post as much, because I wasn't as motivated in trucking anymore, because I was going through all of these ups and downs and weeks at home and wondering, like, is this really like what I thought it was going to be? During COVID, and everything was cheap and the market was booming and it was paying all these people all this money, because people needed, when people actually claimed and actually accepted the fact they needed truckers, it was great. I was balling, you know what I'm saying? I was doing what I wanted to do. I didn't care. I wasn't stressed. I was making ample amounts of money. The market's completely different now. That's not the case anymore. So that's where I'm at now. And for me personally, like, I decided to go back into school, you know. So that's where I'm kind of the route I'm at right now, along with other things I'm doing in my life. But that, like I said, I still have my CDL. It's still in my back pocket. But my goal now has shifted back to finishing what I started, which is college. You know, the only reason I got the trucking was because I dropped out of college, and I was like, well, what now? You know what I'm saying? My major was engineering, and I'm like, well, I'm thinking engineering money. What's close to engineering money? Truck driving was quick. Truck driving, which it was like that until like COVID kind of threw the market for a loop. Being, you know, it's election, and people are claiming that, you know, it'll pass by, but from people I've known that's been trucking a while, they said it used to be like this for a little bit, but this amount of time, it's just no telling. You know, like I said, I still got it if need be, if I ever need it, but that's just my 2 cents on it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I do appreciate the people that still subscribe and still ask questions, but that's just kind of like the route I took with this journey, you know, and I appreciate the supporters. Of course, for those that's, you know, still interested, I'll keep them kind of involved in where my life takes me next. But that's just kind of my 2 cents on it. Like I say, if if you just do your research, look at the market. If you don't believe me, there's articles about it everywhere. You know, I still got access to certain things with the market and the load boards, and I look at them like this is, you know, I think that's one that I saw on this it was this Facebook group, man, for truckers, and I think it showed a 1,200-mile trip for $600. They wanted a guy to drive 1,200 miles for $600. And it wasn't fake, it was a real post. If that don't tell you enough about the market, I don't know what will. But on that note, appreciate y'all for tapping in to another video. Like I said, I'll keep those updated on where, you know, my life takes me next. But for those that are still on the road, stay blessed. You know, I'm hoping the market does get better because I do hate to see my fellow truck drivers go through this. But that's all I got to say. All right, y'all.